Did you know that some rappers are accusing NBA YoungBoy of working with the authorities after his release from jail? It all started when people noticed the announcement. It looks like YoungBoy has been released from federal prison and either transferred to a halfway house or heading home. I will confirm soon. Soon after, it was confirmed that he was back home, but there was a lot of confusion. No Jumper shared a post from famous commentator Richard, saying, "YoungBoy is working with the feds." The post claimed, "YoungBoy is snitching." This is the third time he has been released within 4 years on new charges. He can't serve just 10 months of a 23-month sentence. "My first offer was 5 years for a firearm charge. YoungBoy is definitely working with the police. He might even be the reason Smirk is locked up." Fans started talking about a video of YoungBoy just walking around in prison. Some people even agreed with these accusations. One tweet said, "Honestly, I kind of believe it too. The timing, the energy, the way things are playing out, it's all looking a little too convenient." It wouldn't be the first time someone played both sides in this game. You never really know who's working with who. You have to watch everything. Then, when YoungBoy got out, he appeared on a FaceTime call with Aiden Ross, which only added more fuel to the fire, making people believe that he was snitching. When YoungBoy went to court, fans were hacking into the Zoom call, shouting, "Free YoungBoy, man, free." In the courtroom, YoungBoy was smiling and laughing after hearing his fans cheer for him. One of the first things he did in court was sign a document stating that he understood English, but had an 8th grade level education. But did you know that there's still a chance YoungBoy could go back to jail? His release description in the court file shows that on March 10, 2021, he was arrested and charged with firearm possession by a convicted felon and possessing an unregistered firearm. The arrest happened during a music video shoot where he was playing loud music and dancing on the hood of a car. A woman from a nearby neighborhood got worried and called the police. She reported that several men were holding firearms in the air, which led to the police arriving and arresting YoungBoy. Yesterday, body cam footage from the officer who arrested him back in September was shown in court. The footage captured YoungBoy's reaction, and it was pretty funny. He was calling the cop "Big Dog" and said, "Yo, big dog, man, what you doing? You putting these cuffs on me?" He clearly did not think he did anything wrong. He thought they were just filming a music video, but since he was a felon, the police charged him with a federal crime, which could result in 3 to 5 years in prison. It became clear that YoungBoy didn't realize the seriousness of the situation. When his cameraman tried to delete the footage, knowing YoungBoy couldn't be seen with a firearm, the police managed to confiscate the camera before it was erased. This meant the feds had video evidence of YoungBoy holding firearms, and despite his lawyer arguing that the police obtained the footage illegally, it didn't hold up in court. The federal appeals court ruled that the video could be used in his case. Unfortunately for YoungBoy, he lost his appeal with the federal court, but there's still a chance he could take it to the Supreme Court. After the decision, his lawyer said that the judge had sent him a positive message, acknowledging his potential and hoping he could turn things around after serving his time. YoungBoy was sentenced to 23 months in prison, but his lawyer later revealed that due to credits from another case, he might be released in just 3 to 4 months, with an initial release date set for July. However, because of overcrowded jails, he was released even earlier, much to the surprise of many. Stay out of trouble, man. Fans have been waiting anxiously for more music from NBA YoungBoy, but unfortunately, it seems like his freedom may not last for long. The authorities appear determined to keep him behind bars, and their latest strategy involves bringing up a tragic event that has sparked a lot of controversy. This time, they've brought attention to the death of J.D. Young, another prominent artist from Louisiana, as a way to put additional pressure on YoungBoy. J.D. Young had always made it clear that he wanted to work with YoungBoy. He spoke about their potential collaboration in various interviews, even stating, "Me and YoungBoy will be making music together soon. I'm a fan of his music, and when we team up, it's going to be one of the hardest collaborations ever." These words were filled with genuine excitement and hope for what could have been an iconic partnership. Fans were also looking forward to seeing the two artists work together, as they both shared the same Louisiana roots and similar fan bases. Their collaboration had the potential to not only be a hit, but also a major cultural moment in the rap industry. They even managed to release a song together titled Up With Me, which fans enjoyed. However, what should have been the beginning of a successful collaboration quickly took a wrong turn. Things started to unravel when JD leaked a snippet of an unreleased track by YoungBoy. This move caused significant tension between the two artists. YoungBoy didn't take kindly to this, and he reacted strongly by leaving a comment on social media saying, "Delete this now. I don't know how you even got my song. I don't mess around like that." It was clear that he was upset, and the conflict between them began to escalate rapidly. Instead of backing off, JD stood his ground and defended his actions. He wasn't afraid to speak up, making it clear that he wouldn't tolerate disrespect from anyone, not even someone as powerful as YoungBoy. JD's response set the stage for even more drama. He wasn't going to be intimidated by YoungBoy's response. JD even went so far as to release a diss track aimed at YoungBoy. In the song titled 38K, JD rapped, "You put that comment on my post. They laughed about that, but I was laughing when your baby mama was on me." The song referenced photos that surfaced showing JD spending time with YoungBoy's baby mama. This only fueled the fire between the two artists and made the situation even messier. YoungBoy, of course, wasn't going to let the disrespect slide. He fired back, and it seemed like the rivalry between the two was growing by the day. It wasn't long before rumors started circulating that YoungBoy was trying to catch JD lacking on the streets, ready to confront him in person. However, it's unclear whether anything violent actually occurred between them. What we do know is that the situation was getting out of hand, and tensions were running extremely high. The music world had witnessed public feuds before, but this one felt different, especially with the involvement of both artists' personal lives. Things took an even darker turn when JD Young was tragically killed. The details surrounding his death remain unclear, but the timing of it, combined with the feud, left many wondering if there was a connection between JD's death and his issues with YoungBoy. Some people began to speculate that YoungBoy might have been involved in some way, although there is no direct evidence to suggest he was responsible. Regardless of the facts, the authorities took advantage of the situation, using JD's death to intensify the pressure on YoungBoy. By associating him with JD's passing, the authorities hoped to paint him as someone deeply entangled in street violence, whether or not he was directly involved in JD's death. At the same time, YoungBoy was already dealing with a number of legal issues. He had been involved in a separate case where he was wanted for skipping a court appearance related to an out-of-state case. This led to additional charges being brought against him. The FBI even got involved, staking out YoungBoy's mansion in Louisiana. After some time, he eventually got into his car and drove off, unaware that the authorities were following him. This led to a high-speed chase on the highway, which only made matters worse for him. Initially, YoungBoy did pull over when the FBI signaled for him to stop. But as soon as the agent got out of the car behind him, YoungBoy decided to drive off again, speeding down the highway in an attempt to evade capture. The chase continued as he ran into traffic, but he didn't stop there. He eventually drove onto regular streets before abandoning his vehicle altogether. YoungBoy got out of the car and tried to escape on foot. Unfortunately for him, he was wearing designer shoes, skinny jeans, a jacket, and chains, which made it nearly impossible for him to outrun the officers. The chase became a spectacle as he ran through a fan's backyard, with the fan even encouraging him to run faster. Eventually, the police surrounded YoungBoy and arrested him, taking him into custody. Despite his frustrations and protests, YoungBoy was facing serious charges, including speeding, resisting arrest, and more. He questioned the officers, saying, "I don't want to be detained in these handcuffs like this improperly if I haven't committed a crime or done anything." His confusion and anger were evident, but the situation was far from over. The judge overseeing his case didn't show any leniency, and things were looking bleak for him. Fortunately for YoungBoy, his wealth helped him out of a tight spot. With millions of dollars to his name, he was able to afford top-notch lawyers who managed to secure him a bond. The bond was set at $540,000, with $500,000 in cash as collateral, along with two properties worth over $1.5 million. The conditions of his release included wearing an ankle monitor, but YoungBoy wasn't placed under house arrest. Instead, he was free to travel within certain limitations. This was a significant decision, and many wondered whether a Louisiana judge would have made the same call. Given that the California judge saw no need for stricter conditions, it would be surprising for a Louisiana judge to impose harsher terms. While this legal battle continues, many are questioning whether YoungBoy will be able to turn his life around. With his criminal history and ongoing beefs with other artists, he's walking a fine line. His continued involvement in public feuds and self-incriminating lyrics may eventually lead to his downfall if he doesn't change his ways. If he doesn't focus on his music and stay out of trouble, it's only a matter of time before he ends up back in prison. They did, in fact, release a song together called Up With Me, which fans were excited about. But things started to go downhill when JD leaked a snippet of an unreleased song by YoungBoy. The leak didn't sit well with YoungBoy at all. In response, he left a comment on social media saying, "Delete this now. I don't know how you even got my song. I don't mess around like that." YoungBoy's reaction was strong and clear, showing he was upset about JD sharing his unreleased material. But JD didn't back down. Instead of backing off, he defended himself, saying he wasn't going to tolerate any disrespect. JD made it known that he stood by his actions, and he wouldn't let anyone get away with disrespecting him. The tension between the two continued to escalate when JD dropped a track titled 38K. In this song, JD rapped, "You put that comment on my post. They laughed about that, but I was laughing when your baby mama was on me," referring to photos that surfaced showing JD hanging out with YoungBoy's baby mama. This move angered YoungBoy even more, who took it as a direct shot. It wasn't long before the streets started buzzing with rumors of YoungBoy trying to catch JD lacking in public, but it's unclear whether this ever happened. The whole situation is messy, and it's hard to say exactly how things went down. What's certain is that the bad blood between them only seemed to intensify with every passing moment. Despite the tension, no one could have predicted that things would take such a tragic turn. JD Young was later killed in an incident that has left many wondering whether there's any connection to the ongoing feud between him and YoungBoy. While some people speculate that YoungBoy might have been involved, there's no clear evidence to confirm this. The circumstances surrounding JD's passing remain unclear, and the situation is clouded with mystery and controversy. What's even more troubling is the way the authorities are using this tragedy to fuel the case against YoungBoy. By bringing up JD's death in connection with YoungBoy's legal issues, they seem to be trying to paint him as someone who is linked to violent events, even if he wasn't directly involved. Adding to the complexity of the situation, YoungBoy is dealing with another serious case that's still pending. He had been wanted for skipping a court appearance for an out-of-state case, which only added to the pile of charges against him. When someone like YoungBoy is facing multiple legal battles, it's not just about the criminal charges, it's also about the public perception. The FBI even got involved in his case, staking out his Louisiana mansion in hopes of catching him. After some time, YoungBoy got into his car and drove off, not realizing that the feds were following him. This led to a high-speed chase, which only worsened his situation. "I haven't committed a crime or done anything." He didn't understand why he was being treated this way, and he repeatedly questioned the officers. Despite his protests, the police had him in custody for several serious charges, including speeding, resisting arrest, and more. The judge overseeing his case didn't take it lightly, and YoungBoy found himself facing a difficult battle in court. But the one thing that worked in his favor was his wealth. With millions of dollars to his name, YoungBoy was able to afford top-tier lawyers who were able to get him a bond. The bond was set at $540,000, with $500,000 in cash put up as collateral, along with two properties worth over $1.5 million. The conditions of his release were strict. While YoungBoy wasn't under house arrest, he was required to wear an ankle monitor, which allowed him to leave his home, but with limitations. The California judge who set the bond believed these conditions were enough to ensure that YoungBoy wouldn't flee. But the question remains, if a California judge believed these terms were acceptable, would a Louisiana judge view them the same way? Given the similarities in the charges and circumstances, it would be strange for a Louisiana judge to set harsher conditions. Still, there are those who believe that YoungBoy may have snitched on others to get a lighter sentence, especially given that his plea deal involved a reduced sentence of just 23 months for a firearms charge. Despite all this, it's clear that YoungBoy has a lot of eyes on him. Many believe that he could be in trouble again if he continues down the same path. His past behavior, including getting into beefs with other rappers and posting self-incriminating lyrics, suggests that he hasn't learned from his past mistakes. If he doesn't change, there's a good chance he could end up right back behind bars. Even fellow rapper LaTisha, who used to be a fan, has expressed his disappointment with YoungBoy. Choppa, who once supported YoungBoy with a song called Free YoungBoy, changed his mind after YoungBoy dissed rapper Von in the song Bring the Hook. This situation shows just how quickly things can turn sour, and it remains to be seen whether YoungBoy can turn things around before it's too late. But then, things got even worse for YoungBoy. He had another case pending that involved him skipping a court appearance for an out-of-state case, which led to even more charges. The FBI got involved, and they set up surveillance on his Louisiana mansion. One day, YoungBoy got into his car, and the FBI followed him, starting a high-speed chase. YoungBoy initially pulled over, but as soon as the agent got out of the car, YoungBoy hit the gas and sped down the highway. He eventually drove onto regular streets, then jumped out of his car and ran on foot. Unfortunately, he was dressed in designer shoes, skinny jeans, a jacket, and chains, definitely not the best outfit for a chase. As he ran through a fan's backyard, the fan told him to run faster, and the fan even caught some photos of YoungBoy on the run. Eventually, YoungBoy was surrounded by police and put into a squad car. When asked if he wanted to make a statement, YoungBoy responded, saying he hadn't committed any crime and didn't want to be detained. These were serious charges: speeding, resisting arrest, and more. The judge did not go easy on him, but with his wealth, YoungBoy hired top lawyers who managed to get him a bond. A California judge set his bond at $540,000. He paid $500,000 in cash, plus 2 properties worth over $1.5 million as collateral. He was also required to wear an ankle monitor, but was allowed to travel, unlike house arrest. Since the California judge found these conditions acceptable, it was expected that a Louisiana judge would see the same facts and make a similar ruling. However, despite his criminal history, YoungBoy got a relatively light 23-month sentence with a plea deal on his firearms case. This led many people to speculate that he might have cooperated with authorities, possibly giving up information on others. For YoungBoy's sake, he needs to stay out of trouble. If he continues down the same path, feuding with other rappers and making self-incriminating songs, he won't stay free for long. Prosecutors love to make an example out of rappers who beat the system. YoungBoy's beef with J.D. Young wasn't the only one. LaTisha, once a fan, became upset with YoungBoy after hearing him diss rapper Von after his passing. Choppa had even supported YoungBoy with a song called Free YoungBoy, but that changed once he heard YoungBoy's song, Bring the Hook, in 2022, which caused tension between them. The industry is buzzing after academics tweeted, "YoungBoy is on demon time right now, and he is dropping another full tape." Lil Reese quickly fired back, saying, "That ain't no demon time. He is just rapping like all these other rappers out here." This led to LaTisha agreeing with Reese, saying, "I stamped that." But when YoungBoy heard this, he got upset and fired back with a diss track. In his song, he rapped, "I bet your mom would be destroyed when we send you to God for making statements and choosing sides in my beef with those guys." He also added, "I could say I saw it, you could say I was your favorite." This led Choppa to speak up on Academics' podcast, explaining why he switched sides. Choppa said, "I'm not able to defend my name anymore. There's just so much being said about me, and I feel like YoungBoy is a real stand-up guy, but it's unfortunate how things turned out. He came to me as a man." Choppa also made it clear in a statement that YoungBoy needs to be more careful, as he has a lot of fans looking up to him. He said YoungBoy should set a better example, stay out of trouble, and focus on his music. In the end, Choppa seemed to put the beef behind him after an interview with DJ Vlad. When asked about the whole situation, he laughed and said, "It was funny to me. I mean, I feel like it's not that serious. When it hit the neck, it was just entertainment to me. A good song, nice bars."